folks, how is everyone out there doing today? I'm still waiting for California to get back to me on the information on Bay Area transparency, and Texas is still taking their sweet time to get back to me on BZ Watchdogs file that I requested. But it's been at least a week since I put a video out, so I thought I'd better do something to entertain you folks. So I have decided to do an update video on Mr. 303, David Archbell, from out there in Colorado. Now don't worry, I have his permission to use his real name. Now I did an expose video on Mr. 303 back in February of this year, where I detailed his long criminal history, and I informed you of all of the 33 charges that he was currently facing. I said during that exposure video that I would do an update video when all of David's court proceedings were complete. Well, it's all over but the appeal now, and I have heard Mr. 303 has put out at least one video of him e-begging because he's going to need some major help in the future. Now, I know in our conversations, David has said he still works full-time as he owns his own construction company. Now, I don't know how good David is at his job or if he works every single day. I didn't get into that with him. So, out of the 33 charges Mr. 303 was facing, he was convicted of 30 of them, including 2 felonies. That means Mr. 303 can't have his firearms anymore. And you may not believe this, but Mr. 303 and I have been chatting for 2 or 3 months now, and it looks like he's being quite open with me. As far as I can tell anyways. I mean, he's answered any questions that I've asked of him. There are some deceptions in some of his answers, or, he might be outright lying to me, because some of his answers just don't make any sense to me. I don't believe, that someone with his personality would just sit there and accept all of those convictions without more of a fight. And I didn't hear of any real big court battles going on with him. Well, I also have permission from Mr. 303 himself, David Archbell, to give you his answers and explanations and discuss what he says happened to him. So sit back and relax and let me take you on a journey on the crazy train of frauditing to Mr. 303's channel. So according to Mr. 303, who sent me this video of his, he states that this was the beginning of his nightmare and how he ended up facing 33 charges. Now, David tells me that a few days before he posted this video, David had an encounter on his property with 2 sneaky cops that were there for some reason. And David had an encounter with them where he pointed a weapon at the 2 officers, and he claims he could have legally shot them. Not entirely sure why they were on his property. I'm sure it had to do with something, though. But David stated that when he posted this video, the officers took the video to the prosecutor's office to see if they could press charges on David for anything. And that was the beginning of the spiral downhill. So David asked me to watch the video and see if I could see anything wrong. So I watched the video, and it's about a day out in the country with at least one of his boys plinking with an AR-15 pistol. Like some father and son bonding time and, safety lessons with firearms. The son seems to be the one videotaping everything, and the son is always behind David in a safe place to film while David is shooting. Now, there is no video footage of the kids shooting the weapon, but David does put some writing up on the screen to the effect that the boys were getting used to shooting the gun. Now, as you can see right here, one of the sons is holding what David told me is registered as an AR-15 pistol. Well, apparently David has taught the young lad some safety features. I mean, look at the trigger control, folks. That finger's off the trigger, that finger is out of the trigger well, and the finger is resting along the receiver. I did not see any child abuse or any child endangerment in the video, but I have to question if I am seeing the full video or the police might have been able to get their hands on an extended version of this video and saw a lot more than I got to see. So after watching this whole video of his, the only thing I can come up with is in this screenshot from his own video, Mr. 303, David, is shooting his pistol. Well, David has the armrest of that AR-15 pistol brought up to his shoulder, firing it as a rifle. Oh, that's a great big no-no under the ATF rules you have to follow for short-barreled rifles and rifle caliber pistols with arm braces. Now, once that weapon is registered as a pistol, you cannot shoulder it in any way and fire it like a rifle, which David has his son videotaping him doing. So David said he was arrested for possession of a dangerous weapon. And while he was in jail, the police came to his house and the police found at least 2 firearms lying around which the children had access to. So add on the 2 counts of failure to securely store a firearm, then 4 counts of possession of a large capacity magazine, because in Colorado you can only have 15 rounds in a magazine. And as you can see by his range picture, he has a long 30-round magazine in that pistol. So through their investigation, the police find David put all of his dogs into a used RV because they couldn't be in the house that he was living in with his family. Now, David admits that the place was tore up with several dogs in it, but he felt like he was doing the best he could, that they were at least penned in, they were out of the elements like rain and snow, and he showed up daily to check on them. Well, according to David, the police didn't like the conditions, so they charged Mr. 303 with 10 counts of animal cruelty. David said while the police were there, they struck his RV, which broke the human waste container on it, which then leaked onto the ground. So the police charged him with storing a hazardous material on his property. That's David's story, and it makes me question it. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm only going to report what David told me, though, folks. Still more weapons charges came when police discovered 3 firearm transfers, which don't seem to have been done correctly, as he got 3 charges, misdemeanor charges, for firearm background check transferee. So through the totality of everything that was going on, David was charged with 12 counts of child abuse, all of them misdemeanors with no injuries. David says that despite the child abuse charges, the children were never taken away. Also, David's wife, Rachel, was never arrested for anything during this. So there is 33 charges Mr. 303 was facing. 31 misdemeanors, and 2 felonies. David was facing up to at least 35 years in prison if they sentenced him to each sentence consecutively. So, out of 33 charges, David was convicted at trial of 30 of those charges on March 23rd, 2025. And of those, 2 of them were felonies and 28 were misdemeanors. Counts 6, 32, and 33, the 3 firearm background check transferee charges, is going to be count 6. He was acquitted at the trial. and the prosecutor dropped counts 32 and 33. So he was convicted on 12 child abuse charges. But David tells me all the children are still in the home where he lives. Make that one make sense, folks. David was convicted on the rest of the firearms charges: the felony possession of a dangerous weapon, 2 counts of failure to properly secure firearms, and 4 counts of possession of high-capacity magazines. He has lost all of his firearms due to the felony convictions. David was convicted of 10 counts of animal cruelty, but he's still allowed to have the dogs? Make it make sense, people. And lastly, Mr. 303 was convicted of possession of hazardous material, a felony, but for something that is lying around farms all over America? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So David, he seems pretty nonchalant about it all when we're talking about it. He's taking things in stride, not a worry in the world. Do you know why? Because for 30 crimes, including 2 felonies, on June 3rd, 2025, he was sentenced to 75 days in jail with credit for 3 days. He was given 4 years probation, and they did whack him pretty stiffly with a $4,785 fine and fees. I would say that was one hell of a great deal for someone who could have been facing over 35 years in prison, where his children would have been middle-aged when he came out of prison. So yes, in my opinion, his punishment for everything was a very light slap on the hand. But will Mr. 303, David Archbell, learn from this experience? Only time will tell. A look at his channel shows only, hey, wait a minute. Mr. 303 made a video about me right there, about 4 months ago. It's called Feeding the Homeless in Denver. Andre Sloan wants to arrest me. I wonder what David's talking about there. I have no clue. I didn't even know that this video was out there. So, anyways, what I was going to say before the squirrel took off in my brain there was that David has done very few videos recently. So maybe, just maybe, Mr. 303 is rethinking his life's choices and decided to make a change. So what do you all think of that light sentence Mr. 303 received for all of those charges he was found guilty of? What do you think of his wife not being charged with anything during any of this? She's in the home too, with the same guns lying around and the same children and the same dogs, but she wasn't charged with anything. Leave your comments down below and let us all know what you think. I'm sure Mr. 303 will be here to check out the comments, and maybe he'll even answer some questions for you all. If you know that there's more to this situation and the charges than David is telling, please do not hesitate to let me know down below in the comments, because I have no problem with calling David out if he lied to me. Now, the Officer Down Memorial page is telling us 47 law enforcement officers have been killed in the line of duty so far this year, including the 3 deputies that were killed in an explosion in Los Angeles on July 18th. We're into the second half of 2025, and with the low numbers of law enforcement deaths, it looks like we might actually get under 100 law enforcement deaths in the line of duty for all of 2025. Now, the bluehelp.org page is telling us 51 law enforcement officers have taken their own lives so far this year. I've got some phone numbers I'll leave up on the screen for you all. If you know someone who you suspect might be sad enough to harm themselves, or that they've told you that they're going to harm themselves, then call one of these numbers and ask for help on how to deal with that person. If that person is you, I urge you to call and get help. Please do not use a permanent solution to what is most likely temporary circumstance. Well, thank you all for stopping by the crazy train of frauditing for another video. If you liked what you saw or what we do here, please hit that thumbs up button to let us all know you liked it. If you're just a guest here to see what happened to Mr. 303, but you like what we do, well then hit that subscribe button and the bell so you will see all of the new videos as they get posted. There are so many more frauditors left to expose. So thank you all for the support you give this channel. I appreciate all of the kudos and the nice comments and the thumbs up. It's the only payment I get for doing this. That's all I have for now, ladies and gentlemen. So until next time, you all, please take care out there now.